So I didn't know Medusa had a podcast. So I've been over there listening to her thoughts and everything, and she sounded like an old head, you know. And before you say, "Well, bitch, you old," I'm hip though. I like to think I know what's going on. Give people the space to breathe and do what they need to do. I'm not about to tell nobody what they should be doing, and I'm definitely not about to be sucking the business's balls like these old head ass wrestlers like to do. So what we talking about? I'm over here on her page and I see Medusa has a lot of commentary on Tessa Blanchard. Now I'm not sure if they're like really good friends or anything like that, but maybe they are. She does have something coming up about Tessa being blackballed, and that's what I want to talk about right now because I want to know if you all agree with Medusa. And Medusa said this.
What does Tessa do? I had conversations with her and good conversations with TA because I'm a Tessa Blanchard fan by far. And I'll always support her unless she does something immoral or a little illegal or unethical. But according to people, she already has. But again, there's two stories.
Unless she does something immoral. I don't know. Calling someone nigger and using derogatory language and being abusive and being a bully, and if it's I guess if it's one person it's but if it's multiple people it's like, hey, it may just be you. But according to Medusa, she loves Tessa because Tessa always bounces back. Isn't that sweet? Old heads not understanding other people who have to deal with this bitch on a regular basis. Not just like crossing paths or two ships sailing in the night saying, "Hey girl, what's up? Hey girl." According to Medusa, she was there when La Rosa Negra got into this verbal altercation with Tessa Blanchard, and she told us, Medusa, that we don't know the story, and if them two made up, then them two got over it, then we should too. I just would like to tell Medusa is I don't got to get over motherfucking thing. I don't excuse racism. There is never going to be a time where someone has to be racist. I've gotten into arguments with white people, Polynesian people, Asian people. I done gotten arguments with people part of the black diaspora, and I ain't never stooped so low as to say something bigoted and hateful to them. So I'm not really understanding what Medusa is talking about. But with that being said, y'all see the thumbnail. That's a 2023 pic of La Rosa Negra and Tessa Blanchard. And apparently they made up. Now, remember, Tessa called herself making a public apology. Never really apologized. But these two ladies claim that they made up. And so should you. Make up with Tessa and give her the space. Let her come back and redeem herself. A la Patrick Clark, maybe? I made a podcast about Patrick Clark. Let him redeem himself, too. So maybe it's time that Tessa shows us that she's not a hateful cunt after all. I don't know. What you think? So while Tessa Blanchard was in the top spot in TNA, fighting Sami Callihan and him spitting his mucus out and eating it as it was coming down, which is the nastiest shit, there was a fever happening on Twitter. A number of wrestlers claimed that Tessa Blanchard had bullied them or behaved in a racist manner. Tessa posted to social media that women should support women. Accusations persisted, but little in the way of concrete evidence against Tessa emerged. Fellow wrestlers Chelsea Green, Allison Kay, Priscilla Kelly, Renee Michelle, Shauna, Tanya Brooks. As reported by Forbes, these accusations flooded pro wrestling Twitter, drawing attention from various national wrestling promotions in these United States. The controversy began when Blanchard posted a tweet urging women to support women. Although the message itself seemed positive, it carried a somewhat condescending tone. This triggered a wave of backlash and accusatory tweets from prominent female voices in the wrestling industry. Chelsea Green Chelsea Green accused Blanchard of bullying and demeaning numerous female workers, while Kay made a more severe claim that Blanchard had spat in a black woman's face in Japan and used racial slurs against her. Green, Black Rose from NWA, Brooks, and Shauna echoed this allegation, asserting that Blanchard had engaged in further inappropriate behavior during her time in Japan. According to Medusa, there's two sides to every story. Blanchard vehemently denied these accusations and no concrete evidence was presented against her. However, the damage was done and her wrestling career began to decline. And you see the picture, her and La Rosa Negra, one of the individuals in the controversy who got spit on and called the N-word or whatever word, made amends, took to social media, signaled a resolution between them. La Rosa said that the incident serves as a reminder that as humans, we have a responsibility to be better and treat others with kindness. While Blanchard's career suffered as a result, it is important to strive for personal growth and foster a more compassionate and understanding environment. I'm sorry, you fix your mouth to put spit in it and spit on me, bitch, there is no coming back. I don't know what kind of I'm gonna be the bigger person type shit y'all on, but not if you spitting on me and calling me a racial slur. All bets are off, bitch. There is no redemption story for you. But that's not all. The controversy around Tessa Blanchard peaked when she was feuding with Sami Callihan and won the TNA Championship. The COVID-19 pandemic led to additional issues as Tessa Blanchard no-showed appearances for TNA in favor of staying with her spouse, the wrestler known as Daga, in Mexico. TNA stripped Tessa Blanchard of her title and terminated her as a result of the issues between her and the company during the pandemic. And as Medusa said, Tessa bounced back. That's why she loves her so much. She managed to overcome the storm and achieve a historic milestone in women's wrestling. She secured the Impact World Championship, becoming the first woman to ever accomplish this feat. This achievement was a significant moment that marked a major achievement in the history of women's wrestling. However, womp womp womp. Blanchard decided not to make appearances on Impact TV. She chose to stay in Mexico with her man, which kept her physically distant from the promotion. Nevertheless, she was scheduled to defend her title at the July 2020 pay-per-view Slammiversary. Unfortunately, the tensions got so bad and escalated to a point where she failed to submit promos for her tape segment. This incident strained an already fragile relationship between Blanchard and TNA. Eventually, Impact lost confidence in her and requested that she relinquish the title. Neither TNA nor AEW pursued signing Tessa Blanchard after she was done with TNA. WWE, or AEW, excuse me. Tessa Blanchard briefly worked with Women of Wrestling, but had a falling out with the organization as well. It appears Tessa Blanchard was unofficially blacklisted from most major U.S. wrestling promotions. Tessa Blanchard resumed her in-ring career with Mexico CMLL. That's all over AEW, and we have absolutely no fucking idea who these people are because they just won't tell us. And I'm not a sicko, so that wrestling isn't for me. Why did Tessa get put out of WoW? Well, apparently she cut a promo, and the wrestler Samantha Savage, who's known as Americana, the promo saw Blanchard tear apart Sage, leading to many trainees speaking up. Acting classes were canceled from that point until further notice. One trainee was told that Blanchard would be less involved moving forward, but that's hardly confirmed, and this article went on to figure out what's going on with Tessa Blanchard. At the time of the article in 2022, Tessa was 26 years old, so we're in 2024, so she's about 27, 28. Still young. So young and hateful. You fucked up your career, and somehow you being quote unquote canceled is everybody else. I like to say you can't be canceled, but you can cancel yourself. She canceled herself from all the missteps and ignorant behavior, to where she was a atomic heat. So much so that WoW decided to capitalize on her hateful behavior and put out t-shirts that said atomic heat. It was distasteful and no one liked it. So further on that, apparently Blanchard was livid after a tryout was canceled by CBS due to COVID, with David McLean getting the finger pointed at him, and then McLean and Blanchard was already mad, and McLean has stuck by Blanchard for multiple controversies throughout the year. Sources within WoW was unable to lure back some people that swore they'd never work with Blanchard again, only to see more of the same behavior from her. At one point, the WoW Project was planned in part to rehabilitation program for Blanchard, but the business strategy shifted towards August 2021 when WoW started to go after AJ Lee. After they managed to sign AJ Lee, the plan shifted to Tessa being the primary in-ring name, with Lee being the veteran face of the company. So I guess the question is it us terrible people who cancel people, or is it the people who cancel themselves because they don't know how to fucking act and work with people? Tessa is talented. Tessa got the look, but something about Tessa is fucked up. Where'd she get it from? Did she get it from her daddy? Did she get it from her mama? Why is this woman unhireable? I mean, listen, AEW could be bold. Hire. Go and hire the bitch. See what happens. Let's see how this goes. WWE said, I don't know. They can hire her too. I wouldn't care, because guess what? You're going to get burned. I go by pattern of behavior. What you see is what you get. This woman cannot be nowhere. She's in Mexico. They probably licking her all up in her ass. That's why nothing's going wrong, because they're going to give her everything she wants. Give her pushback, it's a problem. But somehow, according to Medusa, it's the cancel culture that's ruined Tessa Blanchard. Wow. I never get tired of these stories where, like, someone is notoriously a bad person and then people try to help them because they think they're special or something, and then they always get fucked over. It's been happening since the beginning of time, and it's going to continue to happen. Only difference is now, y'all call it cancel culture. I like to call it holding people accountable in their shit. Staying in their shit. Typical Tessa Blanchard shit. Is she blackballed? Remember, this whole thing started because Tessa decided to tweet women support women. I like this little section of this article. I want to go ahead and give the Daily Dot their credit. They said, can Tessa Blanchard get a second chance? This is the article. It said that the definition of sanity is doing the same thing every time, expecting a different outcome. So it could be literally insane to continue to allow a way back in when it's clear that the issues are still present. Flair, Hogan, and McMahon are protected by success when their skeletons emerge from the closet, leaving a capitalist system to make decisions between money and morality, always a losing scenario. There is a unique opportunity to set a precedent with the young, talented, marketable backstage tornado that is Tessa Blanchard. Rid the rot before it takes, and it's much harder to remove. This is especially the case as women's wrestling continues to break barriers and build towards something. There needs to be bricklayers, those capable of setting the standard for those later to strive to sustain. If all that has been said about her plentifully is to be believed, then Tessa Blanchard serves as the antithesis to that. Why ask whether she deserves another chance when the question should truly be as to whether women's wrestling needs Tessa Blanchard in an industry that boasts Toni Storm, Jade Cargill, Becky Lynch, Bayley, Julia, and Mercedes Moné, just to name a few? The answer to that question really seems to be no. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments.